Well, listen, we all know, I would say many of us, everybody knows, the unique history between my partner and the great Eli Manning, the two-time champion. As I read, this part I read, New York Giants great, Eli Manning and Tiki Barber, or greats, pardon me, not just saying Eli. New York Giants greats, Eli Manning and Tiki Barber. Oh, we have the, well, I know, we have the audio on the, I just want to set this up. Okay. I can't stand being interrupted with stuff that does not apply to what I'm doing in the moment. That throws me off what I'm doing.
Yes.
New York Giants greats Eli Manning and Tiki Barber have a complicated history.
It's not really that complicated.
Well, let me just read.
But go ahead.
Then again, if you want to narrate, by all means, interject.
I'm going to interject when I can.
Okay.
I will add color as an analyst that I do on a regular basis.
Their relationship has had many peaks and valleys.
Not really.
Okay,
had one valley.
And fans are intimately familiar with how things played out in 2006. That's a fair statement. We all know that.
It was actually 2007, so let's get this fact straight. But it's what it is.
I'm reading from GiantsWire.com. Might want to check the year, guys. Midway through the season, Barber announced his intent to retire. That didn't sit well with many.
I did not announce my intent to retire.
That's true. It was kind of somebody dug that up.
I did not at all.
That's
I was on a non off the record off day with John Branch of the New York Times.
So meaning you were on the record. You said a non off the record to me means on the record.
How I said that is important.
Well, that's why I'm going back to it because I'm confused.
A non-off the record. So essentially, me and Rondé, because we wrote children's books.
Yes.
We were doing a media tour for our children's book. I think it was our second or third. Maybe it was our third or fourth.
In Manhattan?
In Manhattan, John Branch is following us around because he wants to see what my off days are like. Because I was notoriously busy in my off days. Like I worked at Fox News. I'd be up at 3 a.m. and I'd be talking whatever politics are going on, etc. And then I'd be working out, and I was on this media tour. And at the end of the day, John Branch says to me, Teak, I think I have to report that you're retiring. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I've been watching you in the meetings that you were going. We had some meetings that day, book meetings. He said, I think you're going to retire. I said, I would rather you not report that. But we didn't tell you that it was off the record, but I would rather you not report it. And about 8 o'clock that night, Peter John Baptiste, who used to work under Pat Hanley, writes me and he says, "Did you want this to come out today?"
Was this an email?
This was a text message.
Oh, it was text.
He's like, "Did you want this to come out today?" And I was like, "No," but I couldn't stop John from writing that article.
Let me stop you for a second. Maybe you could have tried harder to stop him. You kind of said, I'd be like, John, please don't write that. Please don't write that. It's not true.
So John knew that he had news. This was breakable news.
But how did he have news? Where did he get that from?
He could just deduct it.
Well, that's not news. That's an extrapolation of what he thinks is happening.
I'm at Fox. Yeah. We're talking about what I'm doing next year, right? And so he's there. We don't care.
I got you.
Like I'm an open book.
Okay. Yeah, right? that I know. That's true.
My life is what my life is. I don't run away from anything. It is what it is. And he sees me talking to Fox, whoever it was, maybe Roger Ailes, maybe it's probably Bill Shine. Both of them were. Was
it Hannity?
No, it wasn't Hannity. But we were just talking about what we were going to do next year.
All right.
And you're going to do the football side. You want to go to L.A. And then it became clear that I was making plans for 2007.
And you were, in your mind, you were definitely going to retire.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, gotcha. I got you.
You know this.
I know. I want the audience. I want the audience.
I almost retired after 2005.
Yep.
When Wellington and Bob Tisch passed away. But so I hung on for another year, but I knew I was ready to do something else. And he was just there. He just knew it. He's like, I know you're retiring, and I have to report it. And I was like, I would rather you not, John. And we had an open conversation. He wrote it.
Okay. So
I didn't announce it. It got announced. And
this is amazing. I've read 5 sentences, and they've gotten everything wrong so far.
That's because people have convoluted the facts of the end of my career because it fits a narrative that I'm the bad guy.
What I never understood, though, because you were so likable, and I know you, so I know you are likable, and people who may have forgot that are finding that out again. But it's not like you were a jerk. Like you were a great player and a genuinely good guy.
I know.
So why would people want that out? Like why would they want to change the narrative?
Don't know.
Just for news?
for news.
Okay. All right.
It was interesting.
So,
I mean, this is part of the reason that Gary Myers and I didn't talk for 8 years.
Oh, God, I was in the middle of that. You know,
and now Gary and I are tight. I love Gary.
I've seen that. You've done events with Gary now, right?
Gary's awesome. And I was great with all those beat writers. Paul Schwartz, Buster Olney, who's now doing baseball. Like, all those guys. They all had my cell phone number. If you need something, just text me.
Vacchiano back then, or Ralph? Was Ralph on the beat back then?
Yeah, he was.
All those guys. For SNY. Because SNY was born in, when did I start doing Wheelhouse there?
He was Daily News.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right.
Tara Sullivan, Kim Jones. Like, they all had they could get me if they needed me.
Mm-hmm.
So
gotcha.
don't write some dumb what.
Yeah.
And act like you didn't ask. All you had to do was ask me.
No, that would bother me too.
So,
all right. So midway through the season, we know that this is wrong, but I just continue. Barber announced. No, it was announced for him.
Yes.
That didn't sit well with many, including Manning himself. Is that true, by the way?
I don't know.
Okay.
He didn't tell. I mean, he was young.
I got you.
He was in his third year.
And following Barber's retirement, things only got worse when he made critical comments about Manning and then head coach Tom Coughlin. We've been down this road a million times. We could keep it moving. Over the years, Barber's apologized and thrown his support behind Manning in the Hall of Fame debate. And now Manning, now we can play this here, guys. Now Manning is acknowledging that Barber saved his career early on.
And then running backs is probably Tiki Barber as your running back.
Wow, I forgot about Tiki.
Because Tiki was talented. I had him early on, and he was talented. We had some other great running backs, Ahmad Bradshaw and Brandon Jacobs, but just kind of that back who could catch it out of the backfield
and get the protections
and run it, and he's going to know exactly what's going on and all the protections. So Tiki. He saved me early on in my career and probably made me look better than I was at certain times in certain games.
That's a hell of a compliment, man.
Yeah. No.
I mean, he's going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a nice compliment.
I'll never forget that his first win because it was against the Cowboys.
Was he 1-8 that first year? When did he take over for Kurt? You guys had a winning record of 500.
We were not. It was the 9th game, I think. I can't. But anyways,
weren't you 500 with Kurt or a game back?
I think we were a game over.
4, maybe.
Game over.
Yeah,
500.
you were.
Yeah. So I think it was after 9.
Okay.
But his first win was against the Cowboys at the end of the regular season, and he's 2-minute drill. We have to score to win. He drives down the field. We get to the goal line, and we used to call reverse audibles and how people think about it in their mind. Like when you audible, it must be a pass. So we'd always have it the other way. So when he audibled, he was actually audibling to a run. And so
is that more common now?
Yeah, it can go either way now.
Okay.
But back then, it was like, if you're audible and they must have seen something, we're throwing the ball a fade or whatever it may be. So he gets down to the goal line. I'll never forget it. He stands up. I'm standing there. I am about 2 yards short of Joe Morris's single season rushing record, right?
Okay.
He gets up at the goal line, stands up, he throws the quotes up, which means it's an audible, which audible to a draw. He steps back, hands me the ball. They all back up because they think it's a pass, and I scoot around. I think it's Deal. Get into the end zone.
Coach Deal that to you.
Coach Deal, exactly. He falls on me. I get up. I blow the kiss. It was the all-time rushing record for a season for the Giants.
Did your teammates know about that? Like something like, that's a dumb question. I know they knew about it, but did you guys talk about it? Like how?
Yeah, BT, I used to hang out with the linemen that's all. Like the reason I was good with them is because, meaning my career was good with them, went great with them, is because they knew everything that that I was trying to accomplish, and I knew what they were trying to accomplish. And we just had this great synergy, right? And so they knew, of course they knew, and it was awesome.
Did you get him a little gift after that for the record? I know you got him watch. I know you did a lot of things over the years, but
Eli? No,
the
Eli.
offensive lineman for carving out the holes, man.
I don't remember what I got him that year.
You didn't cheap out. I know you didn't cheap out.
I got him. I don't remember what it was that year, but it was something.
That is nice to see Eli say that.
Yeah.
And you know what? We got to get him on the show. Before the season, we got to get him on the show. I know you guys talking. I get that.
We will.
We got to get him on the show.
Eli's the best, man.
He's a great guy.
People don't understand.
He's a terrific person.
Like even the criticism that people assumed that I was throwing at him, it was actually a compliment, right? It's
about the comical. It was more about his. Yeah, that was
his personality.
I hear you.
It was taken out of context,
taken the wrong
and nobody
way.
heard it. Nobody heard it. It was a preseason.
You know,
game.
Let me ask, and I've never asked you this. All these years that we've been together, why didn't you go back and clarify aggressively?
Because where was I clarifying?
Well, to offset those people who are hijacking what you said.
But hold on. You got to remember, this is 2007. Social media is not what it is. I can't pick up my Twitter account and say, this is what I actually was saying. I already apologized to Eli. Hope he didn't take it out of context. And by the way, the only reason that it got play is because Eli responded to it. Right?
He did.
I forgot who asked him about it, and then he responded to it, which made it a feud, right? Even though it was nothing, and I apologize, and it is what it is. But there was no way for me to do it other than going to the people who are already writing the articles. And if I go say, hey, Paul Schwartz has BS, or whoever, correct this, it's not in their best interest to correct it, right? Because they don't know what I'm saying. A lot of people didn't hear it. Right? They just took it for what other people said. And there was nothing I could do about it.
When you said it,
and then at the end of the day, to be honest, I didn't care. I was okay with Eli.
Yeah.
So I didn't care.
Yeah, no, that's definitely your personality. I get that. Especially if you don't think you did anything wrong and there's no malice, which there wasn't. When you said that, you go to break, show's over. Do you think that this thing's going to blow up?
No. Not at all.
Second thought? You don't even circle back to
there's no malice of forethought.
No, I know. But sometimes, I've said something on the show, and I'm like, okay, I didn't want it to come out that way. No. I wonder if people did. Not that you could let that run your life,
By
but
the way,
no second thoughts.
In real time, nobody even said anything to me. It was kind of like, and so the challenge was it got lumped in with Coach Coughlin.
With the Coughlin stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
And
which was real, by the way.
Which was real. By the way, I have nothing but respect for Tom Coughlin. I think he is the greatest coach I've ever played for. The details of which he made me great they're without debate, right? I got great because of Tom Coughlin's staff, him and his staff, right? This 3 years I rushed for as many yards as I rushed in 7 prior to him. Think about that. In 3 years, I rushed for as many yards as I did in 7 prior to Tom Coughlin. So I don't discount how amazing he was. But you know me, and I think our listeners starting to know me. I am as people of a person as you can be. And if you're going to be an ass to me, then I have a problem with you.
Yep.
Right? Especially because I'm trying to develop a relationship. He didn't want a relationship with anybody. And
he didn't, even Eli? There was this, I don't want to say callousness, but disconnect.
I don't know.
Even the quarterback?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's just an old school.
He didn't want it with me.
Abrasive.
He didn't want it with
that
me.
kind of guy.
It was what it was, and I didn't appreciate it. And so when I had a chance to tell him about himself, obviously publicly, but more importantly to his face, I told him about himself. And I remember Gerald Ingram, my running back coach, came to me the very next day. My whiskey
stealer, by the way.
Your whiskey stealer. Came to me the very next day. And he's been with Coach Coughlin since he was at Syracuse.
Oh, right? I didn't know that.
So
okay.
Syracuse, then he was at Jacksonville, and he followed him to the Giants. Next day, he said, I've never seen him humbled. Ever. Ever.
Interesting.
So the next year, Sean O'Hara writes me at training camp, dude, you're not going to believe this. He's taking us bowling. Man, we have a players' council. He changed, to his credit. He changed.
So, and I've heard this a lot. Oh, Tiki, if you stuck around one more week, you would have been a champion. We've heard that. Firstly, you never know if it goes that way. You can't predict the events there. But maybe what needs to be written now is that if you don't change Coughlin, the Giants don't win.
I mean, John Mara asked me in my exit interview. It was the only time I went back to the stadium after the Eagles playoff games. We lost in the playoffs to the Eagles. The next day, I was at the stadium. I didn't even clean out my locker. I had Skiba send my stuff to my house. I didn't go down. I went to John Mayer's office, and we talked about Coach Coughlin. I said, you can't fire him. Because, by the way, you forget, people wanted to fire him after 2006. I said, you can't fire him because he's a great coach, but he's got to change. And he changed.
And did he think that, did he believe, did he know that he had to change, or did you have to convince him
Everybody knew it, man.
Yeah. But I'm saying ownership's not in the locker room. It's just, I don't know.
It didn't matter.
Okay.
He treated the front office the same way.
Oh,
he just wasn't kind.
Yeah.
Right? I tell this to my daughter, my 8-year-old daughter, because she's at that, they have a, you know this, because your son's probably a little bit different because he's a boy, but girls who missed that impressionable, end of kindergarten, first year because of COVID, they forgot how to cope with conflict, right? I'm talking kids now. And so there was, I don't want to say it was hard, but we had some issues with Brooklyn just being, I don't know,
empathetic?
No, just not respectful sometimes.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so now we tell her, no matter what you do, be kind, right? Think about how whoever you're talking to and whatever it is you're saying, how they're going to hear it. Not what you're saying, but how they're going to hear it. And if it's not kind, don't say it, right? That's me. That's my life. That's how I've always been. I don't have any enemies, dude. You know this because you've known me now for a decade.
Sometimes I get mad at you.
Yeah, but whatever. But
I got you. I haven't met any.
You gotta be kind, dude.
Yeah.
And he wasn't kind, and I did not appreciate it. And I had a voice because I was the star of a team, and I let him know about it. Period.
Attaboy. I didn't know we were going this deep into it. That was awesome. That was great. Dolph, what's up, bud?
Can I give him a hug? I want to hug him.
Listen, I don't think he wants to hug you. Why don't you stay on the other side of the glass, dude? Stay away from him.
Invite me to your Shabbat.
There you go. Then you can hug him. That was
I
good.
already did, by the way.
I know you did. I just got to go now.
That was good. 877-33. Some people might want to actually react to that. I just wanted to give you the Eli comments, which was a great compliment, but that was a much better deep dive into some stuff that we've all talked about for years. That was great.